Hello everyone, and welcome back to Crafted Creations. Today I'm going to go ahead and show you how I painted this custom 3D sculpt by Charveys3D, another Jabba's Palace denizen, Amanaman. So let's get started. First, I'm going to go ahead and start by painting up his staff here. We're going to go ahead and use some browns and white and some barnwood to mix up some textures for the skulls. First, I'm going to start by adding some brown and painting up the wood part for the staff. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and use some white and mix that with a little bit of the barnwood just to dull it down a little bit. I want these skulls to look like they've been on there for a while, a little bit decayed and worn. Go ahead and give that a nice coat here. I'm going to use some of the barnwood to paint up the bones on the top of the staff. I added a little bit of brown to make it a slightly different color than the skulls. I'm going to go and paint some of the wraps here. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to add a little bit of a wash with the dirty paint water here. Alright, that'll do for now. Let's get to work on Amani. First, I'm going to take this vibrant green. I'm going to mix that a little bit with a bit of yellow. I'm going to go ahead and paint a base coat all along the figure. I'm going to use a couple different shades of green. I'm going to start with a darker shade on the back and then slowly work my way to a lighter shade towards the front. That way it'll blend a little bit with the yellow shading on the belly. Let's go ahead and start working with our yellows. Here I'm using a daffodil yellow. It's a slightly muted yellow, but it'll look good against the darker color of the green. I'm going to go ahead and just dry brush some applications here slowly, just to make sure that it blends nicely. Once I get a good base layer down, I'm going to go ahead and just use a wet brush and then go back over it to make sure that all those colors blend nicely together. You can see by applying the coats in layers, it makes it easier to blend everything together. Now that I've got the yellow exactly where I want it, I'm going to go back and start adding some of the striping detail on the skin. Have to mix up a little bit better there to make sure that matches the previous color. Here I'm going to get just a rough idea of where I want the lines to go, and then I'm going to blend those a little bit better here in just a second. I'm just going to keep kind of going back and forth with the greens and the yellows until I get the desired texture that I want. I don't want the lines to be too harsh. I want it to look kind of more like natural skin and scales. So I'm just going to kind of go over that a little bit here. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and paint the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and apply red to the eyeballs. And I'm going to add a dark wash over the top to bring out some of the details in the sculpt. And then just add a little bit of a little highlight there to each of the eyes. And we're going to do just a little bit of a wash here on the mouth to bring out some of that sculpting detail. Looking pretty good there. And there you have it. There is the custom 3D printed Amanaman by Charveys3D. Another Jabba's Palace denizen to add to the collection. If you'd like to print this 3D file yourself, don't forget to check the link in the description for Charveys3D file. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more customs and 3D prints in the future, don't forget to stop by the channel, like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I hope you like this video, and as always, stay crafty.